Okay, now, yeah, before moving on, I'd like to mention another way of increasing a variable, and that is with plus equal 1. It's just the exact same as this one above, but in a shorter way, okay? So save it and run the code again. It is python tf. There it is, okay? Now, I'd like to talk now about the if statement. The if statement is something in programming that allows us to check whether if something is true or not. If it's true, we execute a few lines of code inside the if statement, such as these ones inside the while. So it would be something like this, for example, if and now column, and before the column we specify the condition that has to be made in order to perform the code below. So let's move to the main page of Python. Okay, here in python.org, we can click where it says tutorial. Yeah, tutorial is good. Make sure to check the right version. For each statement, it's pretty much the same, but it doesn't hurt to check the correct version of Python. Okay, now we click where it says if statements, and here we can see a few examples. If, for example, this one, if x is less than 0, then x is equals to 0, and print negative change to 0. This is an example of preventing the variable to go less than 0 or to become negative. Okay, but in our case we're gonna do something a bit different. Now we can come back, and yeah, back again and back to the main page, and then click where it says library reference and go where it says Boolean operations. Here we can see a list of some logical operations that we can perform inside the if statement. Okay, and yeah, now let's move here. What would it be a nice way to test it? Maybe, oh yeah, we're gonna be increasing x before the if statement, and what is the size of our window? It is 600 width. So if x is less, no, yeah, okay, hold on, sorry, I'm just trying to make sense out of my thoughts. So I'd like to use the if to decide whether if I draw or not. So if x is less than or equal, no, just less than, so the size is 600, and the radius of my circle is 40, so it would be 560. Then we are gonna be drawing all of these figures, yeah, and keep increasing x. Otherwise we won't print anything. We are actually gonna exit. Okay, just leave it like that for now and test it. Okay, it keeps moving. It might not work because I'm gonna keep increasing the x value anyways. So yeah, maybe it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work as expected. Okay, yeah, it stopped because it stopped drawing, but it keeps calculating the new values for x. So I'm gonna exit this, and I'm gonna include this operation inside the if statement, and actually I'm gonna use a smaller value just to see it quickly. I'm gonna use 300. As long as x remains less than 300, we're gonna be drawing and updating the values for x, otherwise we won't print anything and we're going to stop calculating new values. So let's check it out. Okay, it keeps moving and it's gonna stop really soon, and it stopped, and it actually stopped calculating new values. As you can see, oh yeah, it keeps running, but the values for x are the same, and it no longer draw any other figure. Okay, so now what else we can do instead of just stopping? We can actually make the exit condition for this while. Okay, we can turn this active into true. So to do that, we use something that's called else. So if this condition is no longer true, yeah, because this is an operation that gives you a result. I'm gonna put it inside parentheses, so just for explanation. I'm actually gonna, yeah, just for explanation, I'm gonna tell you this in this way. Okay, so if, as long as x remains less than 300, this is gonna be true. But when this is no longer met, this condition is no longer true, then it's gonna be false. Yeah. I'm sorry for this, I just was trying to find a way to explain this. It might be easier to understand for someone who already knows anything about programming, but for new programmers this is not that easy to understand, or maybe, yeah, maybe it is, but I don't know, just trying to make it easier for you. Oh yeah, and now what if x is no longer less than 300? What if x is 300 or greater than 300? Then we're gonna turn this active variable into false. So active is gonna be equals to false. This way we're gonna be stopping this while loop, and we are gonna be exiting this piece of code, and the program is gonna move on to executing something else that is being programmed down here. So yeah, leave it like that and run the code again. Just wait a little bit. Okay. And it stops, and since it stopped, it actually met the condition for exiting this loop. Okay, and yeah, we can do something else. Instead of just stopping the animation, we can just get rid of this else statement, and actually leave it like that. But instead of turning the variable into false, I like to change the color for this circle. Yeah, I'm actually gonna print the other figures. Actually, I'm gonna copy the whole lines like that, delete it, and print it down here. Yeah, just give me a second. Now we can actually print the same value but gray. Instead of printing with gray color, we're gonna print with cyan color. Okay, just like that. And let's see what we got. Save it and run the code again. Yeah, and it changed the color. Okay, but I'd like to keep calculating new values, so I'm gonna calculate the values outside the if statement. Okay, maybe down here, maybe just uncomment this out, save it, stop the execution, and run the code again. So we are waiting. And it changed the color but keeps moving. Okay, guess that's it for now. I just wanted to explain how an if statement works. You can also check for other conditions with something called elif, and then run the code, run some code down here. This elif stands for else if. So if this condition is not met, then we check for something else. If we want, of course, and if we don't, if we just want to check for this one or something that we type here, and if it doesn't met the conditions, if this is not true, if the result is false, then we're gonna be executing this one, maybe, or nothing if we don't want to set an else or an elif. Okay, so that's it for now.